All right. With that being said, let me introduce our guest for this evening. She is an author who has written a book. Well, I want to put her in a box. She's more than an author. She is a go-getter to the fullest. One of her professions is author. All right. She has written a book, and Then My Eyes Are Open, which was released last year. I'm going to put that link in the chat engine real soon, because you need to pick this book up. If you really want to get a taste of Miss Safiar Taliaferro, read this book. Very, very interesting. Essays, poems, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about that this evening. And we're going to have a good time doing it. So without further ado, let me introduce my guest, Miss Safiar.
Yes.
What's going on?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Denzel?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you joining this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Now, you have written the book. You're the author of the book, and Then My Eyes Are Open. But we're going to talk about that this evening. Tell the people about yourself a little bit.
Well, my name is Safiar, and I like to write. I'm a poet. Like you said, I wrote a book that is a compilation of poems and prose. That is a dream come true. It's something I've wanted to do since I was very, very, very little. And so to finally have it come to fruition is amazing, and I'm very happy to have a finished product, and I'm looking forward to putting out more.
Awesome. Now, I know a little background on you. Okay, we actually, a little bit. No, but we actually, for the people who are just listening to this for the first time, this is actually our third time redoing this interview. So I got a little background on Miss Taliaferro on the previous sessions, but we're gonna mention that again. Now, where originally are you from?
Well, I was raised in Montgomery, Alabama. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. We moved around a little bit, and I say I was raised in Montgomery, Alabama, because we moved there maybe when I was maybe by the first grade, I think. So I think I was about maybe around 7 years old or so, and I lived there. That's where I was raised. So I'm from the South, pretty much.
From the South. Now, you said you were raised in the South, but you moved north for a little while too, right?
Yeah, I was. My mom and my mother's side of the family is from Cleveland, Ohio. So that's where I was born. That's where I have a lot of relatives on my mom's side of the family, and we also lived in Tennessee. So I got a little bit of experience, moving around, when I was young, and I've gone back there for Christmas or summer vacations, and family reunions, funerals, all of that, and but my family settled in Montgomery, Alabama, and that's where I grew up. That's the space that I know, the best. So, I haven't lived there in a very long time, but nobody really thinks I'm from the South until maybe they catch me saying something that sound country as hell. Then they're like, "Oh, there it is."
Yeah, I mean, I'm be honest with you. I didn't think you were from the South either. I mean, you do have that Cleveland vibe, about yourself, even though you don't remember it too much. But you remind me of a Cleveland woman. Very straightforward, to the point. Don't mess with me or I'll cut you. That type of vibe. Am I correct?
I wouldn't say I'll cut you. I might threaten.
You might maim you.
I wouldn't actually do it.
Cut off a toe. Cool.
I wouldn't actually do it.
Right. Okay. Like I said, I read some of that book now.
Oh God.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. We're gonna talk about your background a little bit, but of course, with the obvious going on, how's everything going? How are you reacting to what's going on with this pandemic?
Just like everybody else, just doing the best that I can. Doing the best that I can to, stay healthy and stay out of people's way. Mind my business, stay in my lane, and just take care of my household and just really do the best that I can to maintain, not just physically, but most importantly, spiritually and emotionally and mentally, I
hear you. Now, you're a mother, right?
I am.
How old's your daughter?
13.
13. So it's you two against the world, correct?
Yikes.
Did I scare you?
It doesn't always feel like that.
Why do you say that?
It feels like me against her, or her against
me. Wow. Well, yeah, she's a teenager. She's a teenager. Yeah, that's going to happen. You should have had a boy, right?
Look.
I'm joking. All good. Now, what exactly, I guess, what inspired you to publish this book?
Well, publishing, for anybody that is a writer and wants to, share their work, just beyond their notebook, that's just really a natural process. That's the next step,
But for you, it took you, a long time to publish your first book, because you have been sitting on this for a few years, right?
Yeah. The work, the poems are a compilation of poems that I wrote from when I was a teenager. Maybe junior high school age, until I don't think I have any poems in that book that is past maybe 22, maybe 23 years old. And so at that point, I thought the work was done. I actually thought that work was done even before then. I had short stories and other things that, I was actively, trying to get published, sending them out to magazines or, different publishing companies and, trying to get my work out there. And so I thought the work was done. And after you receive no's, some rejection letters and, things like that. And you realize that, I realize I'm a little too sensitive and I don't want anybody telling me no about my work. So then I decided, okay, well, I can do it myself, since nobody, or I wouldn't say nobody. I had not found, a company that was interested in publishing my work as it was at that time. And so I decided, okay, I can do this myself, and I was really trying to. And I kept, just meeting brick walls, banging my head up against brick walls. Number one, financially, to come up with, the money it takes to publish at that time. And then coming up against trying to decide what company is the best to go with, what company isn't going to rip me off, the differences between, self-publishing and using a vanity press and just going to Kinko's, and having them, put it, print it up and just moving it like that. It was, just a lot of options, and I just didn't know everything. As much research and as many books and as many people I was talking to, it was hard for me to sort it all out and put it all together. And so, fast forward, like I say in the book, I thought the work was complete. And then around 2008 or so, as I was looking back over, the poems and just longing for it to be on a shelf at Barnes and Nobles in the library.
Right.
And then it was like the words from the poems just was jumping out at me, and it was like more and more and more. You have more to say about this. And I was basically directed to write what inspired certain poems. So what were the stories around certain things, So that's where the prose comes in. Those things are real life situations that inspired me to write, those poems. So that's why they come kind of, they're weaved in throughout the book, before or after, certain poems or whatever. So then going from there and thinking, okay, now it's done. And then I try it again. And by that time there were, the internet is in a different space. There's publishing companies at a different space. And, there's more online, ways to get your work out there. So I tried again, and nothing happened, basically. And then I still just put it on a back burner, And there was another book, I have another book that I've written as well. It's ready to go, just like this one. So when the opportunity came, I did not self-publish this book. When I, met a publisher that was interested and willing to, work with me, that's what filled in all the gaps, filled in all the blanks, and helped me get it from being on my little drive, to a finished product.
I hear you. So it sounds like you learned a lot from this process.
I learned a lot, not to give up, and sometimes you just have to meet the right person, the right company, that can really take you from point A to point B,
Ain't that true? Yeah, I'm looking. You copyrighted this yourself. You published it, through a company here in the Metro Atlanta area. So you pretty much did your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of help. I literally, what I did was have it ready. I had no idea. I went to a friend's event, probably in 2016, and then she introduced me, to the owner of the publishing company, who she had known for years and had never mentioned that, oh, I know this guy that has this publishing company, and I was just like, wow. And so we talked and connected, and and then several months later, we're getting a process started,
just like that. Now, the book
but
came
there
out.
was a lot of other stuff that happened, but that's the short version.
Well, it's all a part of the process because, well, I mean, not to, go on a tangent here. The book came out last year, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what have you been doing to, promote your book, and, what's the game plan to get this book, in more hands to read? What have you been doing?
Right now, I use Facebook. I use Instagram. My publisher promotes it. I have the Answer Game podcast. And
You're welcome.
One thing I'm really grateful about is a lot of the pressure that I used to feel about putting the book, out. I don't quite have that level of pressure of anxiety about it anymore because it's actually done. So now if it takes, time to get it into, more hands in schools and in libraries and, all of that whole process, I'm okay with that taking time because it's done. It's available. There are copies out all over the place. And I'm blessed that I have had a really great support system. I can't say, how some people say, oh, I got a business and my friends and family and people I know don't support. And I have not had that experience.
Call yourself blessed.
From the moment I dropped it and said, boom, there it is. My friends, my family, clients, people I know, people they know, have been interested, have supported, and I just say, hey girl, that's great, but actually purchased purchased their copy, take a picture with it, post it on Facebook and have given me feedback, I have my what's it called, reviews. I'm grateful for my people that have reviewed the book, and every person that I know personally that has reviewed the book, they are going to tell me the straight up truth. So they're not just reviewing and say, okay, I went up there and said, yeah, it's great, just buy it, whatever. They actually was like, I'm not. And I said, did you finish reading it yet? Girl, I'm taking my time. I will let you know.
Right.
I will let you know when I'm done. And they really gave me, really awesome feedback, and I really appreciate it. So I've had a lot of support, and just working with my publisher, Sims Books Publishing Corporation. He has his own thing that we do of marketing tools and products, for us to start, implementing that we can use. So right now, my book has been available only on Amazon. And we use Amazon as like a launching pad. I'm so grateful to have a platform like Amazon, just down to the buying and shipping and handling process. All of that has been great. I have a friend in Turkey that was able to buy my book on Amazon and have it shipped to Turkey. I have another friend that purchased the book, and she told me that when it arrived, it had, I guess it got damaged in shipping, and there was like a tear through the package. And she just called Amazon, let them know that it was damaged. They sent her out a new one. So to have something like that in place where I did not have to, worry about things like that. My publishing company didn't have to worry about things like that. Amazon took care of that since being on their, publishing platform. So that's been really cool. But I do have some great news, Denzel.
Okay, let us hear it.
So, I know people talk a lot of crap about Amazon, and I don't
know why.
Feel like that because,
I don't know why, but go ahead.
I don't know. Everybody talks crap about a lot of stuff, but people talk crap about Amazon, and then people talk crap about Amazon in relation to books and publishing books. And my thing is, little known Safiar history fact. I worked for Amazon as work from home customer service agent for less than 2 months. But anyway, I learned so much about the company and Bezos and the vision and all that stuff, and to realize that he started that company to have a place where people that love books could go and get their hard to find or just books online and have them shipped to them. That's how Amazon started.
Yep.
And then when I read that, just through required reading from the training process, I was like, it just brought back the memories of when I first started using Amazon, and that's what I was buying on there, books.
Yeah. Amazon is a real good company. I don't know why people, I know why people hate. People just hate when they see somebody doing better than themselves. That's what we tend to do, unfortunately. But I respect Jeff Bezos and what he's done, him and his wife. Because they started that company together. And, you heard about when they got divorced a couple of years ago, how his ex-wife got half.
No, because I was minding my own business, I'm sure.
Well, what you calling me, nosy?
No, I'm just saying. I didn't know if it didn't happen on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I probably didn't know about it.
That I don't watch. You know what I'm saying? But check it. I think his company's worth however many billions. It's a lot of money. But anyway, his ex-wife left him a couple years ago, and she got half. In that instance, I totally relate. Well, not relate, but I totally coincide, with the wife getting half. In that instance, because she was there from the beginning. That instance.
Well,
but that's another story.
And this is America, and that's what you sign up for. But I don't have a problem with his wife getting half. He can afford to share half.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
And give him 5 more wives.
Interesting. Yeah, that relates to your book a little bit. I get that feminist vibe from you. Are you a feminist?
I've been called that. I never put that label on myself.
Okay.
But I definitely have been called that, and it's not something that I directly, went into women's studies and all of that kind of stuff, specifically because I'm a feminist. I never did that, but I definitely, believe in women and the power of women. And the power of, the divine feminine. And, so I don't know if that makes me a feminist by definition or not. But wait a minute, I got to tell you my good news before you get off track.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. We going somewhere here. I'm gonna give you some time. I got 3 hours in this broadcast. I'm gonna give you some time. All right, now you took. No, it's cool. You took the you said you took the women's studies courses and all that good stuff?
No, I was saying I haven't. It's not like I have taken those kind of courses and went into that lane specifically because I think of myself as a feminist. So anything that I have learned or gravitated to that makes it appear that I'm a feminist, towards other people. That's just a part of who I am,
Divine feminine. I hear that term pretty often. What does that mean?
Divine feminine, sacred feminine. That's just really realizing, being aware of, the power of woman and the womb and that aspect of things in our world. Period. That it's not just this, patriarch type thing and masculine and everything is just hard and rough and war and all of that, that, there is a feminine aspect to everything as well, from God, divine, business, nature, and anything, any aspect. It's not just, masculine, which, in our world today, we tend to just look at it like that.
Cool. Again, guys, we are speaking this evening with the author of the book, And Then My Eyes Were Open, Miss Safiar Taliaferro. And Miss Taliaferro, we call this Answer Game podcast for a reason. I want to play a quick game with you, and then you can give your news. I know you want to give your news. But I want to play this game with you real quick. It's called In 3 Words or Less. We want to get to know you a little bit better, okay?
No.
This is cool. Don't clam up. This will be good. All right, I'm just going to say a phrase, and I want you to say what comes to your mind, the first thing that comes to your mind, in 3 words or less. And hello, Sacred Happenings. How are you? Joining us on Instagram Live. Thank you for joining us. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, first one. I hated to see it go.
I hated to see you go.
I hated to see it go.
I hated to see it go. And then what I say?
I want to know the first thing that comes to your mind in 3 words or less.
I don't want to say the first thing that came to my mind.
That's not fair. All right. We'll do this. All right. I'm going to change it around.
Okay. I'll be fair. I'll say it. Okay, I'm ready. Go.
Okay. You want to act like that?
I'll do it. Go.
All right. You ready?
I'll do it. I'm ready. Go.
I hated to see you go.
Ew.
All right, we'll leave that right there.
It puts such a taste in my mouth.
We'll leave that right there. All right, the next one. Is it Friday yet?
Yes. Every day?
That's what came to your mind?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. All right, the next one. This is a low-fat, low-carb design.
Celery juice.
There you go. All right. Next one. Don't front. I knew you when you were eating burgers.
Every damn body that's vegan now.
All right. Try this out. All right. Don't front. I knew you when you were eating boogers. Well, hold on. Let me say that again. Don't front. I knew you when you were eating boogers.
To my little brothers and my daughter.
A little more than 3 words, but that's cool.
Oh.
You can separate that. That's cool. All right. Next one. That was never the case. Times must be changing.
I don't think I'm good at this game.
Okay, we'll skip that one. All right. That's the first thing that came to your mind. All right, next one. College had nothing on this.
Real ass life.
There you go. I got that answer before. All right. All right, next one. If it makes dollars, it must make sense.
Lies.
And the last one. They don't do this in Alabama.
Things that make sense.
All right, we'll go with that. All right. We're giving you an A for effort. Round of applause.
I'm not good at these kind of games.
Appreciate you being a good sport, though. All right. Now, you said you had a big announcement. Go ahead and give it.
Okay. It turned into 2. One, my publisher just texted me that once everything opens back up, that we are going to the book show.
Okay.
And not just me. he has a whole roster of other authors as well. So that's one. And number two, my book will be available on full distribution very soon.
That is good news.
Like,
that is good news.
Maybe in a week. Maybe in a week or two. But being able to order it. Huh?
I'm giving you a round of applause. Gunshots in the air.
You.
That's what's up.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, being able to order it on Barnes and Nobles. You might have a Barnes and Noble gift card that you would like to use, and you can order my book, or just coming up on all the book search engines and all of that, and then we'll be able to work on get it in libraries and all of that. So very, 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 very excited. That's
huge. Congratulations to you. Yeah, so the next step is Oprah Book Club, huh?
Oprah's book club, Toni Morrison book club.
Right.
You name whatever college you at, book club. I don't care. There, a Facebook book club, Risen Writers.
Right, I hear you.
Yes.
Now, I mean, I know
Risen Readers.
There you go. Now, I know a few people that have published books, and prime example, my sister and my father have both published books. My sister's published multiple books, and of course, the goal is to make it into a bestseller. What do you think that formula is? And I guess, what's your game plan? It seems like your working game plan, but what's your game plan to, getting on that bestsellers list?
That was something that, I watched people like Lisa Nichols. And, these days, there's a lot of different, there's literary coaches and different companies that, post all on Facebook and the internet, write your bestseller in 30 days and, all of that. And, it used to frustrate me before the book was actually published. And I was like, how are people writing a book in 30 days?
Yeah.
And having it published, and then it's like a bestseller. And I used to be like, am I missing something? Like, what the hell? I don't get it. So, I'm not going to presume to know that. I don't know that the work that I have right now, would be considered a bestseller, quote unquote, by like New York Times, that kind of, I don't want to say standard, but whatever, as you say, formula, they're using. I don't know that. And I don't know that's not even a concern, right now. With this book of poetry and the one that I'm putting out next, it's my life. That's like my soul, so I wasn't writing it with the intent of this has to be a bestseller and, reach millions of people and all of that kind of stuff. And then the next thing half of those books everybody bought, you can get at the Goodwill.
That is true. That is true. It's funny.
Quote unquote bestsellers that everybody was running out to get.
It seems like you have to be controversial. Case in point, I read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This was like, man, time is flying, 20 years ago. And I'll never forget, in that book, He talked about how he was no better than a C student in school, and he actually flunked English because his teacher said that he was actually a bad writer. And he made the point that he wasn't trying to be a good writer, he was trying to be the best-selling writer. And he mentioned that, in response to his book, it's a bestseller because it was controversial. Because, of course, the name of the book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but the undertitle is what rich people teach their kids that the middle class doesn't. And he created this, this whole controversy saying pretty much that most of America, most people, are brought up to be poor. And that pretty much was his lane. And, of course, his book is worldwide now. That type of thing is been selling millions for a number of years now. So I guess my question is, would you consider going that controversial lane to sell your books?
I don't know that I would write something just to sell a book. That's not how I feel. Uh-huh. With the feedback that I've received from people that have read my book, they do consider it to be controversial with my language and the content matter. I do have work. I do have work that it's not complete right now. Uh-huh. That may fit more in that lane of, I don't want to use the word self-improvement, but might fit more in that genre of, of work that could directly, help someone to heal or to move through, something in their life in a different way, like The Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I have read as well, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I have bought several copies, for other people and used to give them as gifts and stuff like that, so I get it. I would love to have a best-selling book, though, definitely.
Right. It's funny.
I don't know that I could write something just like, oh, this is going to be a bestseller. I don't know, but I would love to. What writer doesn't put out something and really want it to reach everybody?
Right. You said your friends read some of the book and consider it to be controversial. Yeah,
I definitely have. I haven't gotten necessarily negative feedback, but some like, really.
Well, I'm gonna say something. This past week when we planned to do this, I had to, read, some of your, a lot of your book to, get a feel of what we're gonna talk about this evening, and I do, see some relatability, like, when you talked about having to catch that bus. The number 1 to 5 Points and take it to Garnett Station to go to your job, and I can relate to that because I took the number 1 a couple times, to Garnett. Yeah, I did. Well, I did sales for a metal company or a scrap metal company, so I used to have to take the bus out there. Yeah, I'll never forget that. And you said you had to walk to Peter Street to get to Rolling Out building. Yeah. Yes, I can relate to that. However, looking at some of your poems, like Nightmares, that was an interesting poem. You know what I'm talking about? Of course you know what I'm talking about. Okay, where did that come from? You don't know. Do I need to read it?
What page is that? Yeah, 19. Go ahead and read it, Denzel.
You want me to read this? You sure?
Go ahead and read it.
Okay.
Yes.
I met this. Oh wait, hold on a second. Let me change the music. There we go. All right. I met this man who reminded me of a dream I had, where I threw up grasshoppers and watched their little legs in dysfunction before they plopped one by one into my mouth. Is this sick? Or what? Or is it more sick for you to screw your baby and your baby's mama out of a check you're not worth sweating to support? Just send a check. Or is it more sick to kiss your man who's been sucking on straws that belong to a man whose fingers play piano that rests upon the knees of black and white tricks? Or is it more sick to know if you're sick and seed off in a bowl, hold on, turn the page, a bowl of blackberry juice that's sweetened just right to please you? Now that's some sick shit. But if it doesn't faze one, nor two, or three, not even half the population, which feeds off the sick, hold on, let me make sure it's right, which feeds off the sick of fieldness of the intestines of the grasshoppers that I threw up in my dream all over my bed next to the man I met.
Damn.
I'm doing your work for you. All right.
Damn.
Now, reading the next page, I wish I reread Nightmares before the spring of 2003 when I screwed too much and let a Panamanian eat my peaches. He was a boar with a beautiful accent. There was a Chi-Town brother with a permanent toothpick stuck between his teeth. I rubbed his feet and made his breakfast from his EBT. Okay. My light-skinned Mississippi man always smelled like Caress. Not very aggressive, but had me gasping for breath. Do I need to keep reading? I'm going to keep reading. The barber by day, security guard by night, gave the best hugs in the world. I hesitated before doing them. He already had a little girl. Actually, most of them had at least one kid. My super smooth accountant, I'll never drink white grain liquor again, it's been parentheses, laid me down and shaved the hair down there. How could I not feel welcome? He exposed the Clarkson's queen to Proverbs 31, 1-30. And I replied to him, do you want me to read the Bible before or after you squirt cum all over my face? All right? Do not throw verses at me after what we've done. Pray for your sins and I'll pray for mine. Months later, he stood in front of me, smiling, flashing his wedding ring. How well do you know your husband? I don't want to keep reading, but that's interesting. So that was how many men? Like 3 or 4 different men in this one particular section.
You was counting?
Men always count, trust me. Men count. Ain't no getting around that. That's a little tip.
I never even looked at it like that. I didn't count.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when you wrote that?
I don't remember. I really don't. The first part that you read, the title of the poem, Nightmares, that's the poem. But, what you read afterwards about rereading it and where you started counting.
Of various sorts.
That what was going on during that time. I guess that inspired, the poem.
And also musical.
And what the poem is about basically just shows that how much can be going on, in people's sex life, and they may or may not know what's going on behind the scenes with that person that you're sleeping with, just like they may not know everything that's going on with you.
Okay.
And just goes on. Just, I think people can hold point a lot of fingers and hold a lot of judgment about people's desires, sexual desires specifically. And people can't always, or don't feel that they can always be honest and transparent, about what they're doing, who they're doing, why they're doing it, what they'd rather be doing. Yeah. Just reading in between the lines. reading in between the lines of people in their lives, and I try, of course I judge just like anybody else, but I do try not to. I can't even say I try. I do not have as much judgment towards people in their love life and sex life, choices as a lot of people do. I'll say that. Yeah.
Have you ever been in love?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
How'd you know it was love?
I mean, love is love.
Okay, but how'd you know?
When don't you know what love is from how you feel? Love is feeling, love is action. I may have been in love sometimes when it really wasn't love. I'm sure, but I think the difference is when it fades, because I feel like when you are really in love, or when you truly love someone, no matter what, regardless of the dynamic of the situation, it doesn't fade.
I hear you. To me, love is is an action word more than an emotional word. It's definitely all action with me. I just remember, well, not to get off topic, that young lady I saw myself getting married to. I'll never forget this. Yeah, I'll never forget this. We was at a event where I was hosting some people, and I had forgot something, and she brought it to me. She didn't even ask me. She brought it to me. She handled it without me having to ask. At that point, I knew, okay, it's something here. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think about that?
I mean, it didn't take you being around her 50 times. Do I love her? Do I like her? It was instant. I mean, you know what it is. People know when they meet something that they like, that they recognize as being a part of themselves, whether it's another human, whether it's food. When you gotta have that thing in your life, and when you are just fine without it.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Tell you what, let me sign off here. All right. Signing off on Instagram Live. Thank you for joining us. That's not going to end. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. So with that being said, in your book, I'm looking at a couple other poems here.
Yeah.
What was your favorite poem in this book?
One of my favorite poems, it's called, one of my favorite poems is called The Answer.
The Answer.
And I have another favorite. Yeah, it's called The Answer.
What I'm looking at now. Which page is that
on? That's on page 49.
49. All
right. It's a long poem, but it's one of my favorites.
Okay. Why was it your favorite? Or one of your favorites?
Oh gosh, I love my words I love the energy I get from it every time I read it, no matter how long it's been. Um, yeah, I love the power of it. I love how it describes um, kind of what we're talking about. It's not necessarily even talking about love. It's actually talking about infatuation, which, you know, that can get you caught up.
Mm-hmm. So enough.
Just like anything else.
So enough. So enough.
Yeah.
So enough. Now you put yourself out there again, but we can't stress it enough. You put yourself out in this book, like this passage here, Miss Sieta. I'm saying that right, Sieta. That's
What page are you on?
119.
Saida. Her name is actually Saida.
Saida, okay.
Who I have. Yeah.
Now was this?
What are you saying?
Huh?
I'm listening.
Was this a relationship?
With Saida?
Uh-huh.
It was a friendship.
A friendship?
She was a friend.
A friend. Was it more than that?
No, darling. I had a whole boyfriend at the time, and we all worked together. We all met at the company that's mentioned here, and no, she was a friend. Yeah,
just a friend. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't anything more than that.
Okay.
It was awesome, though.
Was it? Huh? Was it? What did she provide to you?
She was from Detroit, and you talking about, I'm straight to the point, no nonsense, whatever. No. She was. And I just remember none of us, neither Saida, me, or my boyfriend at the time, that is mentioned in this book during this time, because I wrote a lot of poems during that relationship. We would just be riding a bus together, coming to or from work, and we would just have these creative conversation, because I was a writer, she was a writer, and she sang. And the man I was seeing at the time, he was an aspiring rapper, and he used to write. So we would just have all of these just different creative conversations about the world, and F the man, and hating our job. And we were young, that's what we were doing. And we just had it was just very inspiring, being around someone as talented as she is, and you could bounce ideas off of, and all of that. She was just really, really cool people who I've not seen nor talked to during that time, but in my heart, she's still my friend. She's still someone that I remember and hold dearly.
Okay. Again, guys, we are speaking with Miss Safiar Taliaferro, author of the book And Then My Eyes Were Open. We're discussing this book along with relatable topics to this book. We're having a good time doing it. If you want to ask Miss Taliaferro a question, all you have to do is go to Spreaker.com, SPREAKER.com, /The Answer Game Podcast. Go ahead and follow us, and we'll be able to chat on this session. You having fun?
I am, and people who are listening are texting me. One person just said, "Boo, answer the questions." I'm not good at answering questions like that.
Listen, whoever texts that, we gonna get it out of her. or die trying. I feel that vibe too. But we gonna loosen it up. You know what I'm saying? All right, Mr. Fire.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask you a question straight out. You're the liberal, Black power, female empowerment, woman empowerment, women. Am I correct when I say that?
Yes, I believe in women's empowerment
Okay. Now,
and black empowerment.
I'm like, okay, cool. Next 5 years, what are your thoughts on that movement? What do you see this movement in the next 5-10 years?
Yes, there are a lot of things going on in relation to women that have been abused, sexually violated, assaulted, all of that kind of stuff. Yes, there has been a rise of women that have been affected by those things that are coming out, more in the media, and people that were in the entertainment business, and all of this stuff. What's sad is that that's not women's empowerment. Mm-hmm. That got to do with you. That got to do with families. That has to do with men. That has to do with children. Because when a woman is violated, and when I say when a woman, that includes anybody that has been violated. But since you're asking me about women, mm-hmm. That affects everybody. Mm. That affects everybody. Mm. So it's not just women getting they say because XYZ went to jail because he is getting called out for things that ways that this person has violated all of these women. When a girl or a young boy has been violated in any kind of way, that affects everybody that person touches, mm-hmm. and who touches them. Mm-hmm. So to consider a Me Too movement as part of women getting their rights, like being able to vote, I mean, you're missing the whole point. Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing, I think
when a woman is being held down, in any kind of way, that affects how you eat. That mm-hmm. affects how well you breathe. That affects how well you can do anything when there's women around you who you don't even know that have been, hurt. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. We are in a country where I think a lot of things are backwards. One being relationships. Like, speaking from a man's perspective, I don't think there's anything wrong for a man to have more than one woman. But here in this country, we're pretty much brought up to believe that if a man does have more than one woman, then, there's something wrong with that. And I really didn't learn this. I didn't learn the flaw in this until I got in my 20s. But up until that time, I knew something was off. I'll never forget this. I was a late bloomer. I can admit that. I was a late bloomer. In college, the first couple years of college, I had my share, but not as much until after I figured out what a woman really wants. Or one of the main things she wants is security. And after that, everything started to make sense to me. Along with, why a man may want more than one woman. And I think a woman is okay with that if a man is honest. And if she doesn't, she's immature.
So what makes somebody immature?
If they don't understand that a man can have more than one woman.
No, that doesn't make somebody immature if they don't understand that a man can have more than one woman, especially if that is not a part of your culture. In a place where that is a part of the culture, women understand that, men understand that, so nobody is considered to be immature because it's a part of the culture, it's supported, it's a part of the community, it's a part of the laws. If you're living in a place where a man that's 50 years old can marry a 13-year-old, she understands that that's a part of the culture. Would you consider her to be immature if she doesn't want to marry him, though?
No, not necessarily.
Or would you consider her to be immature because she's 13 years old and she doesn't want to marry him?
Well, put it this way. Put it this way.
Okay, Denzel. I'm not here to say if it's wrong or it's right. If it's a part of their culture, it's a part of that time, and everybody goes along with it. But you're asking me about women's empowerment, you know? And so regardless of if his family is in a better position now that he's dead because he left them land and money and all of this kind of stuff, you would need to answer if that was right or wrong. We don't know the mind of that 13-year-old. Did she need to have married somebody at that time of her life, that age, before her body is even fully developed, and start popping out kids? We don't know what her dreams and aspirations were.
Okay.
You don't know what she wanted to do with her life, but this is what she needed to do, whether to help support her family, whether because her parents pushed her because this was a good, quote, business family deal to join these two people together. Maybe they couldn't afford to take care of her. I mean, we don't know any of those things, but when you're talking about a concept like women's empowerment, you have to look at what does that woman, even if she is 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old, what is best for her? What is best for her? So we can't go from talking about Me Too to a man should be able to be with whoever he wants to, and a woman is immature if she don't understand that. I mean, you all over the place.
No, not necessarily.
But you know, did you realize that I had a poem in here about along the lines of what we're discussing?
No, I didn't. No, I haven't got to that poem yet. Which poem is this?
It's on page 105. It's called "Monogamy is Ridiculous."
Yeah.
Can I read it to you?
Yeah, I did read it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got this checked off.
Can I read it to you?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So per our spicy conversation about women's empowerment, to Me Too, to the cancel movement, to polygamists, to
and you know what that is?
Man having with whoever he want to be, to Denzel being worried about how many men I done slept with.
What you mean worried about that? I ain't worried about your business. That's your business. But you know what that is, though? That's good conversation. That's what this is.
Don't be worried about that, honey.
I ain't worried about that.
It's quality, not quantity.
Right.
Okay, so from my book, and then my eyes were open on page 105. Monogamy is ridiculous. My wife is beautiful. My wife is balance. She is life, the love of. My wife is everything. Clear to her is my attraction for her. Clear to me is my need to be with her. My wife is zealous not. My wife wants me to be all. My wife realized love in me, though I need to show more. She already knows how much I am. My wife is a rumble in etherland. She is my power and my weak. My wife is the quietness that understands what she can, and I make up the rest and behave because I should. My wife is the force that makes me shut the fuck up when I'm talking too much. And I do, but I have so much to say. So she is the half and I am the half, and we are still incomplete by a mere portion of our brain that says no. My wife is the steel that watches and waits for me. She is the role, the queen, and I'm God. My wife listens enough, breaks in breath. I feel her intense my heart. I can't control my wife. She too is God. Sitting in a tree at the beach watching me and my wife. I can't control my wife. She is the flow I chose. I love my wife. I love my wife. I need them both.
There it is. There it is. Round of applause. So, with that being said, what inspired you to write this poem?
This poem was actually inspired from just observing people that got a quote unquote cheat, which I hate that terminology. I'm not a fan of that concept or that terminology, but just watching men that are married or are in a quote unquote committed, relationship, and then this woman that they're with, this is her, but he still needs or feels that he needs somebody else, and the other woman that he's seeing that cannot actually be his wife too, because like you spoke of earlier, where this is not, unless you are Mormon or something like that, you really can't legally have two wives in our society. But you have this other woman, and she ignites something else in you. She's different. She's those other things that the one that you have at home, and that relationship tends to be the secret or the one on the side. But, for you and for her, it's just as valuable, it's just as important, but because of, society rules or whatever, it's not one that you can be out in the open with, but they're just as important to you. Sometimes the other woman knows stuff about you that, your wife at home, you can't even open your mouth to speak.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
She can't handle it,
That is true. That is true. So that's your meaning of fuck monogamy.
At that time.
At that time.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm going to tell you something, though. Through my experience, men do cheat a lot. And when I say cheat, meaning that they have relations with other women that they don't tell, their women about. But as far as who are the best, it's always going to be the women, because y'all can be some of the best actors. No, y'all are the best actors on the planet. And I'm saying this from experience. I guess I've always appreciated a woman that I dated a couple of women that pretty much told me up front that, it's not just you. And I appreciated that. You know what I mean? Because I knew where I stood. I knew where I was going to be. This would probably be a fling or two. And, if it turns to something a year from now, okay, cool. But if it doesn't, hey, no big deal. It was the women that, it was that one woman from college, I'll never forget this, that one woman from college that, when we first got together, she used to beat me up all the time saying, don't cheat on me, don't cheat on me, don't cheat on me, right? And knowing I was not cheating on her. But come to find out, when we broke up, she cheated on me a couple times. So those couple times when we had a fight, and she left for the weekend to go home, saying she wanted to go home, and I'm using parentheses, go home. Come to find out, she had a couple flings. That type of stuff.
Yeah, but it would be great if people didn't even have to do that. I use the term cheating. I'm using it very lightly. I'm not using it, like seriously. As a massage therapist, if, one of my clients go see somebody else, I'd be like, oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You cheating now?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I'm using it lightly. That's not, if one of my boos turn around and get married, I'd be like, really? You cheating on me? That's gonna go get a whole wife. But
you mentioned that in your book too, right?
That somebody that I like got married.
That somebody that you love got married. Is that in the poem? Not poem, but
they all do that. I think I'm a husband factory. I think I make husbands.
You ain't fucking about.
I do.
No, just.
I think I turn men into really great husbands.
You trying to warm me up?
Do explain. Do tell.
I'm fucking serious.
Because that's happened several times where somebody that I was seeing and involved in, and the person that they got with after me, they married. I think I scared them into holy matrimony.
How many times has this happened to you?
More than once, Denzel. Stop counting. Shit.
I'm a counter, goddammit. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. A couple of those cases.
Yes.
What do you think kept those two men from not putting the ring on your finger?
During that time and at the time where this book was written, one person that is referenced in the book, we were engaged, and then we realized we was not ready. We was young, and that would have been a drastic, horrible mistake. And that was fine. And then after, like I said, these were poems written from when I was maybe 15, 16 years old. I'm 22. So, during that time period, anybody who was my boyfriend, I thought we was going to get married and have a baby and live in a house with dogs and a white picket fence. That was, I was young. That was still my mindset. Mm-hmm. But not too long after that, I realized that that's not the lane that I want to go down.
You made that known to them?
So after that, yes. Anybody that I was seeing after that.
Well, somebody, okay, you're pointing the question again. No, what happened in two cases?
No.
Right? Two cases. What made you think those two? I'm not asking you how many men you said that you trained to be a husband. I'm asking for a couple cases where a man, didn't put a ring on your finger and put it on the next woman's finger. What happened? Why didn't he put a ring on your finger?
I feel like during that time we were young. And I was very like you pointed out earlier in our interview, very into Black Power and being a rebel, and I had moved away from home, and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to listen to anybody, whether it be a manager, a boss, anybody. So even though at that time, I still had the mindset that what you're supposed to do is go to college and get married and start having babies. I still had that in my mind, but I had this other side of me that was like, I just want to be free. I'm a bird. I want to fly. I want to experience things. I want to travel. I want to do stuff. So I can't honestly say why, other than, we were young.
He was rebellious.
I don't know. I don't know what made somebody that was 22, 23 years old decide he didn't want to get married. Probably because he realized that was not a good choice. And it would not have been.
So you meant you was on the rebellious side. Well, let me ask you this: where did this rebelliousness come from?
I think it's just a part of me. I kind of can go against the grain on things, and I want to experience different things. I don't always want to go with the crowd and do what everybody's doing. I'm very creative. I am an independent thinker. I have my own mind. I know I have my own mind. I have my own opinions. And, I want to do my own thing. I don't know what made me like that. A whole host of things.
Okay, cool. Again, guys, we are on the line having fun with the author, Miss Safiar Taliaferro. Getting jiggy with it, asking some provocative questions by playing. And she's been a good sport, and we had some good conversation this evening, and hopefully you've been enjoying it thus far. Again, if you want to find us, all you have to do is go to Spreaker.com, SPREAKER.com, / the Answer Game Podcast if you want to ask Miss Safiar a question or two. And I'm walking them trolls tonight. If you want to troll, say this broadcast sucks, hey, let us know. But we know you're lying. We know you're having a good time.
Well, they texted me though.
Oh yeah. Those people who texting, they get in the chat room. I want to know what you're texting them.
No, my people, they just hit me up.
Okay. Do tell, please.
Oh gosh.
Do tell. What are they texting you?
Who is this crazy man? Damn, he digging in. Answer the damn questions.
Thank you.
He said, "Oh, he's trying to be slick."
He trying to be what?
Slick with the questions. They, I'm getting some feedback.
Well, cool. If you're listening, thank you for listening in.
Dropping knowledge.
Say what?
Somebody said, "Diva dropping knowledge." I'm the diva. Okay.
Diva. What's another word to describe yourself? All right, we got diva, we got rebel. What other words we use to describe you?
I am creative. I am loving. I am kind. I am strong. I am stubborn. I am innovative. I am a survivor.
Okay, you know what? Let's go with that. All right, what makes you a survivor?
Every day. Every day, no matter what comes up, I do my best to survive and thrive through it.
Okay.
And to keep on going. But I know I don't do it alone. I know, my survival and the breath that I breathe every millisecond, I know where that comes from. I know what power, that is. And my job is just to keep on taking those breaths and to keep on going.
Because my definition of a survivor, at least my idea of survivor, is somebody that has went through something very treacherous, very life-changing, very stressful, but at the same time nurturing, to take somebody to the next level. And started out on a journey with with some people who are in the same position, and a lot of those people fail, but that person is still here. You know what I'm saying? But how does that relate to you? What have you survived to call yourself, I guess, to describe yourself in that term?
My most recent thing is, I know that I've talked to you a little bit about it, but I survived domestic abuse. I survived that. And I came out of it with a published book. It's
There you
no
go.
other way to say it.
There you go.
You know, I went in, you know, I was recently married. And, you know, I met this guy that seemed amazing
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, was doing all those things I thought, you know, that a man is supposed to do, you know, to be someone to marry, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
be a good husband and be a good father. You know, we met quickly, we got married quickly, married within 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Period. And during that time, that's when I went to my friend's, you know, event and, you know, met the publisher and, you know, the guy that I married, we wasn't married at that time. We was engaged at that time. That's when I met the publisher and I'm just like, oh my gosh, all of these things are falling into place. And then, some months forward, that's when, you know, I start working with the publishing company to you know, to get the book going. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, this is a blessing. Like I've been wanting to have this book done all this time. And then this opportunity comes and these things start falling into place when I decide, okay, it's time for me to get married, you know, forget all that monogamy is ridiculous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
let me do what everybody said I need to do. Let me, you know, get this girl a father. Let me settle down and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, all these things are falling into place. And, you know, this dream I have is coming. And, you know, I thought it was a blessing. And
Mm-hmm.
it still was. I won't say that there weren't blessings that came out of it. So, but it also turned into that nightmare from that other point.
Right. Okay.
It turned into a complete nightmare of, you know, being married to someone that I did not know, you know, very well. And, you know, as you know, when you're living with somebody, you see things that
You see everything.
can be unlivable.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember I had my books and notebooks and diaries and things that I had in storage and piled in the middle of the floor so I could sort through them and, you know, get other work together and get this whole publishing thing on a roll and all of this stuff. And I remember being interrogated about things that I had written, and lo and behold, he had been reading my diary.
Oh, wow.
And wanted to go back and ask me about things that had happened. I don't care if it happened 5 days ago, 5 years ago. What grown man want to read a woman's diary?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, just asking me about different things and all this stuff. I'm like, where's this coming from? How do you even know? You know, and it didn't even cross my mind that I had these notebooks in the middle of the floor that somebody was going to read them, you know. And my feeling is, this is my life. If you want to read a diary, go ahead, but you're not going to ask me about it. You're not going to interrogate me. You're not going to threaten me about stuff, you know, that I had written. So it started to be, a lot of things started to come out in the open. Let's just say that. A lot of late nights, battles, you know, that I was not winning. Let's just say the short version.
Wow.
And to go through that, and 11 months, literally 11 months to the day, when I realized that I could not do this. I had never been with someone that, you know, violated me in a way that I had been violated. You know, this wasn't like, oh, I had a pattern of being involved with men that was whooping my ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, absolutely not. You know, It took me a second. It took me a few months because I was basically in shock and humiliated and embarrassed, beyond belief, that I was in this situation. But and then it was halting the progress on my book. He did not want me to meet with the publisher. He didn't want me on the publisher because we're on the phone too long. You know what I'm saying? Amongst other things. That's why I had to quit the Amazon job that I had got to work from home. And I was getting cussed out. Before I'm logging on, my hand's shaking so bad because I'm like, I felt like I was literally in a Twilight Zone.
Wow. And you dealt with that for 11 months?
It was not the whole 11. It was not from when we got married in like September. Nothing physical happened until maybe February, March or so of the following year. So from like that period on, it was drama. And the day that I left, it wasn't, I just left. The day that I ran out of that freaking apartment, calling 911 down the street.
Is that person still walking the streets?
I did not look back. Excuse me?
Is that person still walking the streets?
Is he still walking the streets?
Yeah.
They are still breathing. I'm not gonna say anything else, but they are still alive. But yeah, that was difficult. That just like that, I became like a statistic, someone involved in a violent, domestic, abusive, not just relationship, marriage. And honestly, the fact that it was a marriage kept me there longer because it wasn't somebody that I just had a fight with and we could just cuss each other out all night and he got to get out of my house or I got to get out of his house. You know what I'm saying? This was, ain't nowhere else to go. Y'all married, And 11 months to the day, I left and I went from being married, live in an apartment, all of this stability and all of this stuff you're supposed to have, to moving from place to place with my child, being homeless, going from hotels to friends' houses to, my publisher calling me, what's going on? And I'm just like, I still want to do it. I'm just trying to get my life together, It was the most difficult thing that I have ever been through, and I was very, very blessed to have my friends, my family that, nobody said, I told you so. Nobody said, oh, you got me. Nobody, you shouldn't have did that anyway. At the most they said, I knew he was crazy. Look, I saw it in his eye. But other than that, it was, how can we help? What do you need? Let me know. To even down to the Gwinnett County Police, whatever horror stories people say about the police and all that kind of stuff. I got people that showed up quickly. Down to legal aid, down to getting an attorney pro bono, domestic violence. I can't say a shelter, it wasn't a shelter, but just organization to help women in that situation, women and children in that situation. Just the resources that I had to utilize. That people would call me and text me and say, call this number or go here and check on this. Or me and my daughter walking down the street and one of her teachers, they recognize her. y'all need a ride? Because we're walking to school at, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So to go through all of that and to having to get restraining orders and just everything that you can, everything that they say happens, even down to that person not wanting to let you go, and having to deal with that, but I have a praying team, I have some spiritual warriors on my team. I got some people with some good jobs on my team. That sent that Western Union MoneyGram Cash App, to help us. So any way that anybody could help, they did, and I am eternally grateful for that. And literally the day that my attorney was like, it's finalized, which took a lot longer to do, because he was not cooperating. He was not cooperating with signing the divorce papers. He actually had to get restraining orders. He violated restraining orders. He had to go to jail for violating restraining orders. And then at that point, that's when he was forced into cooperating with this in front of a judge. Having to testify, all of that stuff you see on Lifetime that you may hear about from somebody else, but you don't think that's going to be me. I would never be in a situation like that. I don't play that, and to be going to literally go through that. That is the latest and greatest thing that made me a survivor, and
that qualifies
to still be holding on to my dream, to still be holding on to my faith, that literally the day I got the paperwork in my hand that it is done, I called my publisher, wrote, hey, I'm ready. He was like, you sure you got your paperwork? I don't need no problems. I'm like, I got my paperwork. Let's go.
That's what's
and up. Then and that was the best. And then people that didn't even know I wrote, because I had stopped talking about that I was a writer, and because I got tired of talking about, I'm working on a book. Year 6, I'm working on my book. Year 10, I'm working on my book. I just got tired of saying that, and nothing hadn't been able to complete that. So I stopped talking about it, and people that didn't know that I was a writer, or even had this project in the back working, but they knew that I had just gotten married and went through all this drama, was like, wait a minute, how the hell do you have a book out?
Right.
You was just living in a hotel homeless. Like, what the hell? And I'm just like, psh, look, I got divine on my team, okay?
That's what's up.
So that is the latest and greatest thing that has made me a survivor. And I definitely have to give a shout out to once again all my family, all my friends. Everybody sent me positive energy, in prayers, in words, in cash, food, giving a ride. It would be to the point, this is how spirit works with me. I would be on the corner waiting on the bus, and somebody I haven't seen in years would ride by and turn around. I don't even know who's calling my name. I don't even want to go, because I'm like, I don't know who that is. I ain't got my glasses on. They're like, Safiar, it's me. What you doing on the corner, girl? You need a ride. Strangers would see me and my daughter carrying groceries down the street and be like, hey, God told me maybe I should give y'all a ride. You need to write a book about this. Yeah. I don't know how much I know that I will. I know that I will, because there is so much crazy shit that happened during that time, and I know it would be very healing for me, to do it, and hopefully maybe it would be healing, for somebody else too. But I also, before I forget, want to give a shout out to an organization that has helped me profoundly, and it's called Sanctuary for Survivors.
Okay. Where can people find that?
They help. They're on. It's called Sanctuary for Survivors, and this group works with women that have been in domestic violence situation, maybe been sexually violated, maybe been mentally abused, anything, that woman, has been through, and they survived it. And there is a statistic that says it takes, generally, someone has been abused, and men get abused as well. They do. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if the statistic, if the numbers show the men and the women, boys and girls, or I don't know if it's just for women. Mm-hmm. But the average time that it takes for a woman to leave a domestic violence situation, they say it takes her 7 to 10 times to leave, to try to leave. That she may think it. She may leave and come back. That's how many times before she can get out of it. And if she gets out of it, that may not even be her getting out of it alive. That might not even be her getting out of it well, with all her body parts intact. So when I was going through it and kind of feeling down on myself, and the woman that runs this organization, when she gave me that statistic, she said it takes a woman 7 to 10 times, and you left. Period. It wasn't no going back. Oh, but I love him. Oh, I was like, fuck that. No. Hell no. Absolutely not. This is not my life.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with the people. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of questions I can ask from that, but we're going to say that for another time. That was very good, though.
All right.
Yeah, you're a survivor. You definitely got the label survivor. Definitely got to give that to you. Wow, goodness. With that being said, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. We really appreciate Miss Safiar giving us her time. We've been doing this a couple hours now, and I don't take that lightly. We appreciate you joining us, Miss Taliaferro. Anything you want to promote before we leave?
Wash your hands. Wear your face mask.
Most definitely.
Stay inside. I do got the hookup on face masks, handmade, 100% cotton. You can insert a filter. I got somebody that's in the lab making them right now. 2 for $24. Okay, plus shipping and handling.
24. She told me 25.
You can hit me up on huh?
24. She told me 25.
What? 22. I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
2 for $25 plus shipping and handling. And then you can hit me up on @Safiar Taliaferro on Instagram, Safiar Taliaferro on Facebook, Safiar Taliaferro on Amazon.com to purchase a copy of my book, Safiar Taliaferro on YouTube. I got a ton of YouTube videos.
That's what's up.
You can just call me. Thank you so much for having me, Denzel.
Not a problem. Guys, round of applause. We really appreciate Ms. Taliaferro joining this evening. Please go pick up a copy of her book. I put the Amazon link in the chat engine if you want to look at that. I also put the Sanctuary for Survivors page in the chat engine as well. Guys, was this not awesome? I think so. That's going to conclude another session.
They think it's awesome.
Oh, did they text you again? We appreciate y'all texting them. I'd rather have you in the chat room, but hey, I'll get what I can get. I'll take what I can get. take at this point, but that's cool. Appreciate you guys joining us. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send them to us at the Answer Game Podcast Facebook page. Just put the Answer Game Podcast in the Facebook search engine and click the like and follow button. Also find us on Instagram. That's answer_game_podcast on Instagram. And last but not least, find us on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com / the Answer Game Podcast, so you can replay this session, which was awesome, and other sessions as well. Guys, y'all have a good one, and that is it. Peace.